way, I can just sit here and look pretty and let you and Lindsay do all the work.
That's right. Every week I do all the work anyway. So
yeah, pretty much.
Well, and Mo, you're definitely the one that's looking pretty. So
obviously,
he's pretty.
Of the three of us,
we're so pretty. Oh my god!
I guarantee
he's the prettiest.
He's got more product. He's got more product in his hair.
That is true.
Pinnacle. There's nowhere to go.
The show peak. It's at its apex.
Exactly. I am Mo Lightning. Welcome to Table Talk. Lindsay to my left. Lindsay, how are you?
I am good. Happy Wednesday. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait. What day is it? No.
We are a day early, but that's all right.
It's great. No, I'm excited.
And of course, filling in for our Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley, the one and only Tough Enough winner. He is Maven, the Wall Street mogul now. Is that your new title?
Ooh. No, absolutely not.
Wall
Street novice, Wall Street student is definitely what I am.
Student becomes the teacher eventually.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, the student becomes the rich man. Is what I'm hoping.
You're on your way.
I don't know about that, but it's one thing I've learned from my travels into the city on a daily basis. It's that the suit is a thing of the past. I go to where you would think, and where I guarantee you, 30 years ago, 70% of the men were probably wearing suits, and now I might be one of, I would say, 10 people on a daily basis I pass in a suit. It just you don't see it anymore, and it's crazy. And I do it because I'm old, and to me, it's just what a man does when he goes to work in the morning.
And Lindsay, have you noticed that when he first started filling in for Devon, he was dressed in the nines, and every week it's gotten a little bit lower?
Like comfort.
What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this?
Nothing's wrong with it. I'm just saying, you used to treat us with class and respect, and now it's
like,
Now you got your grandma's shirt on. I mean,
face or not,
I do. And what's best about it is it's not even a full. There's not even a full shirt underneath it. So I plan on taking this off and being comfortable the rest of the night.
Well, and show off the guns, maybe build up that bromance. Our guest is
wait a minute, hold up. Did you just say show off the guns?
Yeah, show off the guns, yeah.
Not with the guy that we got coming on next. No. That's for sure.
I mean, but if you both wanted to, it's fine.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
A man must know his limitations, and I'll take a back seat to the guy we got coming up next.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to give your bromance an introduction?
Absolutely. You know what? Probably one of the nicest guys. A couple weeks ago, we had his, former partner Brian Myers on, but I thought he'd never leave.
Right.
But one of the main reasons that I'm probably as prevalent in the business as I still am is due to the next guy. He'll tell you where you can catch him. I'll be with him at WrestleCon here in a few weeks in Dallas. Let's bring in Matt Cardona.
Woo!
Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's going on?
How are you, Maven? I saw that sleeveless shirt you got under there. Let me see it again.
You want to see it again? You're asking.
Oh yeah,
for it.
Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Woo!
Right. Come on.
Matt, they make fun of me. So when we first did our podcast with the Devon, I was at work and in a suit, and then the next time we did it, I'm here at my house, so I'm in a t-shirt. I can't make Mo happy. I just can't make him happy.
It's always something.
I might be a little bit difficult when it comes to
Matt. Matt, you look like $1 million, but I would probably be underselling you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I did legs today, so I don't even have an upper body pump right now. Imagine if I did. Imagine if I did shoulders or arms. All the blood's in the legs right now. They're the quads, the hamstring, the calves.
That is the most meat. That's Mo, Lindsay. Is that the most meathead thing ever said on this podcast? It has to be.
Probably top three. At least.
Yeah, definitely. Top three, at least.
Now, speaking of arms, how's your wife doing? How's Chelsea, who always seems to have the stroke of bad luck when it comes to injuries?
Yeah, I don't know. Deanna broke her arm on impact. I was doing other things this weekend. I had to see it on social media. That kind of shit comes with the business, right? It's not ballet. That's the expression, right? So she'll bounce back. She always does.
She get frustrated when that happens because it seems like
Oh, for
whenever she's
sure.
getting that momentum.
Yeah, listen, there's no good time to get injured in this business. Because you're always doing something or about to do something or hoping to do something. So
Yeah.
it always sucks. So what are you gonna do?
I get you. Well, wish her the best for us. Obviously, we don't like to see anybody get hurt in there, but thank you for your time. What did you have going on this weekend? Did you win another 2 or 3 world titles? What were you doing?
I had the big event, which is a signing in New York City. I had that, and then I defended my Impact digital media world title in RCW in San Antonio. And then this weekend I go to Atlanta, then to Albany to wrestle the Hardy Boys. I'm all over the place, baby.
Oh, okay. I may have to go check that out. I live in Atlanta, so I may have to
GCW
come.
Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out, baby. I'm the deathmatch king, so I fully intend of beating the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Mo, this man stays, as busy as anybody could possibly be. Now, Matt, a couple weeks ago we had Brian on, and we were talking about how you guys have revolutionized and just pretty much changed professional wrestling. When I was, coming up and while I was in the business, if WWE lets you go, this is pre-TNA. There was nowhere to go. Indies. So tell us, what is it that you're trying to do for not only your career, but for those to follow?
Yeah, Maven, you said it perfectly. I was explaining this to somebody the other day, like, before I got into this business, or even when I first started on independence, anyone who left WWE, there was nowhere to go. Like you said, they had to change the spelling of their names, so they didn't have WWE suing them.
Yeah.
They'd go around doing the hits. It was just, oh man, it was horrible. I never wanted to be someone like that. And when I got released, instead of being bitter and bitching and moaning and complaining, I said, okay, here we go. Let's fucking go. Yeah. I used the hashtag, the catchphrase, always ready. And I had my pro wrestling tee store ready to go before I got the phone call saying I was let go, because I kind of knew it was coming that day. And then I just, I pressed play, and, it was a weird time because the pandemic just started and there wasn't really like indies going on. So luckily we had the Major Wrestling Fever podcast to stay relevant and to, connect with our fans. But yeah, once the world started opening back up, I said, okay, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to be the self-chosen one. I'm going to tweet so fucking much that everyone's going to know what I'm doing, whether they like me or not. Yeah. Because whether you like me or not, whether you follow me or not, everybody who's a wrestling fan knows what I'm doing. Yeah. That's because I shove it down their throat.
And you said it right there. And you said the key phrase there, whether you like me or not. In this world, in our business, the only enemy is irrelevance. When people don't care about you anymore, that's when that's when the checks stop coming in. And again, Mo, I can't tell you how much he and Brian has given me some sort of relevance again. Now, Matt, I know you like doing that with the younger guys too, because at all the shows I come to see, you guys are always, not only promoting yourself, but a lot of times you promote younger stars even more than you do your own careers.
Yeah. So Brian runs his own wrestling school. I would be a horrible trainer. I'd be able to give someone critiques, but there's no way I could teach somebody how to do a headlock or have the patience to teach someone how to take a bump or run the ropes. I could definitely be, maybe a finishing coach or something, or, critique a match afterwards. But I give Brian all the credit in the world for that. And yeah, so of course we want to, especially Brian, make sure his students get out there. And a lot of his students have MJF, AEW's top prospect came from Brian's school. Day one student from Brian Myers. So, we try to do that with we have our own wrestling promotion, the FWF. So we try to put on, great shows with the younger talent. But then we also want to give people shots who I don't believe it's over for Maven. I think Maven still got something in the tank. He might not believe it, but I do. So we try to, give him these little moments, be like, see, they do give a shit about you.
Well, we'll Maven thought he blew an ACL out off getting up off the couch last night. So I'm not quite 100% sure that no, the shows you guys you bring me in for, I can't thank you enough. Like I was telling Mo, doing this podcast, it's something, it's just another thing to my list of something to do. But every time I do it, I love it, and I the same with y'all's show. I have a blast when I'm out there, and you guys just Mo, you got to see their fans. Their fans are as diehard as anything you've ever seen.
Yeah, so we do live podcasts, and people, when they hear that we do live podcasts, they think it's me and Brian, quietly talking into a microphone. It's not fucking that. It's a show. It's a spectacle. It's like a wrestling show without the wrestling, because we don't say who our guests are going to be. We advertise surprise guests, but like the music just plays. It's like the Royal Rumble. Someone comes in, and then we bullshit, and then he leaves, and then someone else comes in. And the first show we did was at Caroline's in New York City, Times Square. The surprise that night was Maven. You would have thought it was the fucking Rock walking into Caroline's.
Wow.
Holy shit. It was unbelievable when that music played, the music that Maven hates, the music that I work out to on a daily basis. When that music hit, and the people were fucking there, and they didn't know he was going to be there. It's not like people came to see Maven. I knew in that moment, like, fuck, we got to keep doing things with this guy because the people still care. We've gotten him a micro brawler wrestling figure. We used him on a couple of our shows, and I have a lot more ideas too, because that's what's so great about the Major Wrestling podcast, because they're diehard wrestling fans, and they remember guys like Maven.
Well, what number live show are you guys up to?
So we're up to 12, and that will be the 31st in Dallas. If you're in the Dallas area, tickets are still available. VIP is sold out. Sorry, guys. But for the first time ever, we'll be streaming live on Fight TV. So if you're not in Dallas, you can just, wherever the fuck you are, you can just go to Fight TV and order it. Because typically before, it's just, you miss it, that's it. But now we'll be on Fight TV, which is pretty big for us. We're excited about that. But, even more pressure, but I thrive under pressure.
Excellent. Awesome. Now, of course, wrestling is in a great spot right now with so many options out there. Do you think, maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the current generation grew up wanting to be in WWE. Do you see that changing, that the young people coming in, they're going to want to grow up and headline AEW Revolution or Impact Bound for Glory? Do you see those changes coming?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And kind of like Maven said earlier, before there was nowhere really to go. Now there's everywhere to go. And, whether it be independents or overseas or AEW, Impact, whatever, every day I'm working towards being better and better and being more well-known, but I'm not like, okay, what can I do to get back to WWE, or what can I do to get to AEW? If someone from there called me, of course I'd have a conversation. Of course I'd listen, but I don't care really. I want to prove that you could be a successful pro wrestler and not be in AEW, not be in WWE, but here, you're going to have to work your ass off. You're going to have to, it doesn't stop during you can't just do the indies on the weekends and then just chill Monday through Friday. No, you're working and you're grinding, you're hustling, you're promoting, you're doing all that bullshit. But it can be done. You just got to put in the work.
Absolutely. Now, Lindsay is newer to the wrestling world, still kind of learning a lot of things. May not know that you conquered the internet many years ago, the internet championship and whatnot. And again, if I'm out of line, correct me, but it seemed like there was almost a frustration that WWE wasn't using you right. So you took to the internet and won all of us over.
Yeah. So, that was about, it was a little over 10 years ago. And I realized, social media was a thing. It was in its infancy, and I wasn't the first person on social media. I wasn't the first wrestler on social media. But I was the first person, in my opinion, that took Matt Cardona and Zack Ryder and meshed them. So you see me tweeting about stuff I was doing with my friends or my family, and then what I was doing on television. I was kind of blending that together, started my own YouTube show, and the fans, they could tell that this guy's editing this himself. The WWE's not producing this. The quality sucks, but they loved it. They loved that I was showing a different side because, if I'm on TV for 5 minutes or not even at all, like, what can I show about my personality? I can't, right? So with social media and this YouTube show, I was able to connect by showing exactly who I was. And it really took off. It was a snowball effect. Pretty soon the arenas were chanting my name at shows I wasn't even at, selling out merchandise, not even being on TV. It was fucking crazy. A year or so later, that all got, flushed in the toilet, but we're not going to talk about that now.
Well,
That's
Matt,
fair.
I think what separates you from a lot of pro wrestlers, and I've worked with a lot of them, is just the passion that you have for not only the business but for your career as a whole. But tell us something else that you're passionate about that we might not know about.
Oh man, I mean, I have if you look at my social media, there's so much weird stuff, whether
Oh,
it be wrestling or
because if you don't go to it, I'm going towards your cat.
well, I mean, I got
One of
dogs,
your
I got cats.
cats.
They call me Cat Daddy, Maven. They do. I'm a big theme park guy. There's so much stuff about me, and that's why I think I have such a wide variety of fans, because there's people who like me just because I like theme parks, or there are people who like me just because I like action figures or Star Wars or whatever, or because I like my pets, or because I wrestled. So I just put it all out there, and I don't give a shit if it gets a lot of likes. I don't care. I don't care. I don't do the post for the likes. I don't time out my post. Oh, it's not a good time to post this. I don't give a shit. I think authenticity is the key. And I think people can see through the bullshit, especially now with all the fake, everyone's on Instagram just like flaunting what they want to flaunt and put up this front. I just put me out there, and like me or not, I don't give a shit. And I think people can respect the transparency and the authenticity.
Sure.
Absolutely. Couldn't have been said any better there. I was telling Lindsay earlier, I feed two stray cats in my garage. I actually cut in my garage a little like cat door.
Oh,
and,
that's a mistake.
Yeah. So my neighbors must hate me.
There's gonna be
But
1,000 cats in
like
there.
like you're always talking to me about going on social media, and I think that's what makes you. I wouldn't be able to put that on there because I think I'm the most boring human being ever.
Right.
Where you're willing to share your entire life. I love that. I respect it about you.
Yeah, I just don't care. And it's not that I don't care what people think. It's that I'm not, listen, I say this all the time about like my wrestling career. I'm not in this run of my career. I'm not trying to prove people wrong or prove doubters wrong. I'm trying to prove myself right, prove my fans right. If I convert some people to be fans, glad to have you. But I don't have the chip on my shoulder. I'm not trying to, say fuck you to all the negative people. I don't care. If you don't like me, I don't give a shit. I'm here. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my fans, and to keep this momentum going.
Sure.
Excellent. I love that. Now,
Yeah.
With you putting your life out there so much, has there been incidents or individuals that have maybe taken things a little bit too far?
No, I mean, there's definitely, everyone deals with the trolls and the negative people on social media. That kind of comes to the territory, I think there's a difference between being like just negative and being like a flat out like
asshole.
There you go, Maven. And like, listen, I understand it. Every once in a while, it gets under my skin too. It pisses me off when like fans go against other fans like that, because some people don't have the they're not tough enough, Maven, so to speak.
There you
they
go.
don't have the thick skin, and I feel bad. The negativity on the internet, the bullying, all that bullshit, it needs to stop. And the sad thing is, it's not gonna. It's probably gonna get worse. But we all got to find a way to ignore it, as hard as that may be.
That's good. I guess I was worried that maybe fans start walking up to your door. They figure out where you live, and they just like, "Hey, I'm here. How are you?"
No, luckily that has not happened yet.
Okay, good. Let's keep it that way.
But at your shows, I have yet to see any fan that hates you or any stretch of the imagination. But your fans, they do feel like they have a different relationship with you than like Chris Jericho's fans or I don't want to even say The Rock's, because somebody like that's in Hollywood, but just a career professional wrestler. You take a Chris Jericho, for instance. His fans, he's all over social media and he's on a lot of platforms. His fans aren't going to be able to see him on a weekly basis. Your fans can physically come up and interact with you almost weekly.
Yes.
And that's what to me separates you from everyone out there.
And that's something we're very proud of at the Major Wrestling Fair podcast. When we do these live shows, you know, for the VIPs, we usually have like 100 VIPs, and we do a meet and greet afterwards. And the meet and greet goes longer than the fucking show
Yeah.
because we're not just like making no eye contact and signing and going to the next person. We're taking time, catching up, and it turns into like a big party. We usually have like we got all the drinks are flowing, you know.
PBR.
Yeah, that's right, PBR, baby.
PBR.
We're just having a good time. So it's more of a hangout and a party. And yeah, we're signing some autographs and taking some pictures, but it's not your typical meet and greet autograph signing. And I think people, you know, they appreciate that, and they can, you know, they relate to us, especially when, you know, 20 years ago, even 10, when I got into WWE, there's no way I could go into the locker room with the figures I bought on the road. Fucking Bob Holly would have stomped on them, kicked me out of the locker room. JBL would have shit right in the middle of my bag of toys. You know, like the business has changed, but I don't blame those guys. I don't, you know, they didn't grow up in the era that I did. They didn't grow up with the ice cream bars and the wrestling bed sheets and the wrestling cartoons and all that stuff. They didn't grow up. It's just a different time. And I think our fans, they loved it. You know, for such a long time, you couldn't admit in public that you were an adult collecting wrestling figures. But now, if a wrestler is doing it, it kind of, you know, it makes the Major Wrestling podcast like a safe space for all of them.
Right. Yeah. It definitely ups the cool value, and I think technology has just, you know, it's made anybody that might have a love for something be able to find other, you know, select-minded people. And I grew up. We were talking about with Brian with those big figures. What were the first?
They're called LJNs.
Yeah, the LJNs. If I would have won Tough Enough and got on the road and told people that I liked those, or ever even had them or knew what they were, I would have been. I can't even imagine
Come on, and not even King Kong Bundy right up your ass.
and it would have been like, it literally would have been the worst day of my life. So, you know, but what was it that changed that you guys were like, fuck this, fuck you guys, this is who we are, and we're going to make a career out of this?
I think it was a gradual thing where the locker room just gradually changed, where the guys, you know, when I got into the WWE locker room, when those guys were retiring or getting released, and you realize there was a younger generation and a lot more of the guys that you went through developmental with. And it just changed. Cause like I said, I don't blame the past generation. They didn't grow up in this stuff. How could they relate?
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to chase after the ice cream man to get that last Hulk Hogan bar. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a whole new generation of guys coming in, and whether it be like video games or comic books. I think that really did break the ice. A lot of guys bringing the video games on the road, or people like Shane Helms getting into the comic books and talking about it. You know, kind of broke the ice where, all right, well, if comics are okay and video games are okay, then action figures aren't so bad.
I love
Absolutely.
That. Now, when did you guys first meet? Do you guys remember your first encounter with one of them?
I think of it, you know, pretty much nightly before I fall asleep. Actually, I don't know. Do you remember we met in 2008 at FCW at the old developmental in Tampa?
See, that has to be Brian, because I was never there.
Well, no, I don't think you were there training. You guys were there, I thought, watching a show.
I think it's only Brian. I don't think it's me.
All right. Maybe maybe I thought it was. I could have sworn, because I was
all those majors look alike. It happens.
I thought I could have swore I thought I met you there. Well, where we reconnected, when I first moved to New York in 2012, I moved to New York, knew nobody, and a buddy of mine gave me a job. He was like, come work at my bar, you know, and put some money in your pocket. And these two guys came in, and that was literally the start of this
I remember
romance.
I was on a double date with Brian. Brian was on a date with his now wife. I was on a date with his wife's friend, who obviously didn't work out. And I'm like, is that fucking Maven? And it was. And we took a picture with them. You know, and then Brian kept in contact. And Brian, I don't know if he had just gotten released by WWE or was about to, but then Brian started doing these independents and trying to get Maven booked with him. But I don't think we connected again until that Caroline show.
Yeah, probably not. You're probably right. Yeah, and in my defense, when Brian started getting me bookings with him, I told him I was like, I'm done wrestling.
Yeah.
If you want me to tag with you, that's fine, but you're doing all the work. And to his credit, he said, throw one drop kick and we'll be good.
That's all you need. That drop kick, baby. That's all you need.
It was a beautiful drop kick.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. Not only with putting a lot of money in my pocket over the years, but you've kept me relevant. And to this day, I'll do signings, and I'll have your fans that wearing your shirt or whatever come up, and they know me from you. I even signed a micro brawler a couple weeks ago.
I love it. And I'm so excited that you're going to be at WrestleCon, because I want you to see that people do care. I feel like, not that I think you just sell yourself too short, and now that our major wrestling podcast fans care. But I think when you're at WrestleCon and you see people from all over the world coming for the biggest wrestling week, and like, holy shit, it's fucking Maven.
Yeah.
I think it might light a little fire under your ass. A little comeback 20 years after that, winning that Tough Enough. It's been 20 years. This is it. The 20-year anniversary.
It is. I've learned to never say never, but we will see. We will see. Definitely.
I think you got to go on the whole Tough Enough, the Tough Enough tour. We still got time. Let's do it.
Like I said, I'll never say never. But hey, how's your father doing, Mo? You should see this guy's dad. This guy's dad is like, if I don't want you to tell his age, but when I'm that age, I hope I look and am getting around as good as he is.
Well, I'll say it. He's 65. I just saw him this weekend, actually. He's crazy. He's retired. So all he does is work out. My mom sent me a picture the other day. She caught him outside in New York. Now, New York, it's pretty cold right now, right? Maven, you're still up there. It's cold.
Yeah.
So my dad was outside naked, shaving his body. And my mom snapped a picture. Like,
Okay.
just letting the hair just blow into the wind, I guess.
Do what you gotta do.
Like, what the hell?
Okay.
Ridiculous. But
Oh, wow.
that's my dad. That sums up my dad.
Mo, they did a show, an actual pay-per-view event about a little over a year ago, and they had me do one of the run-ins during Matt's match with VSK, and in the same match, his father came out, was one of the run-ins, and threw a super kick.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you bitch about your back hurting or being too old to do this, and here his dad's throwing super kicks. My goodness.
my dad's crazy. It was a WrestleMania when I won the Intercontinental title. He legitimately hopped the guardrail and came into the ring to celebrate. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't be in the ring right now.
But how cool! And I've seen that picture of you two embracing. And you can fake a lot of things in our business. That emotion wasn't fake.
No,
I could tell you enjoyed that.
At the time, it was annoying. Especially it was in Dallas actually, and there, of course, he's wearing the WrestleMania cowboy hat. And he hops the guardrail wearing it, and he tries to put it on my head. I'm like, get this fucking cowboy hat on my head. I'm finally doing something cool, and I have this fucking cowboy hat on my head. But looking back, it's definitely a moment that no writer wrote that. That really happened, and I'm very grateful for it. I have a picture of it hanging up in my house. I don't really listen, I have some toy rooms. You see this shit behind me, my quote unquote office. There's wrestling shit in here. But when you shut the doors, my house looks completely normal. No wrestling stuff whatsoever, except the picture of me and my dad at WrestleMania. So that was a great moment, and one that I'll remember forever.
That's very cool.
That is amazing. Before we let you go here, I got a fan question.
Sure.
Dante wants to know, how many more belts does the belt collector want to have?
Man, I got 6 right now, and I'll admit it's getting kind of annoying. I can't bring them all because they won't fit in my carry-on bag with my gear, and I can't check a title. True story. A couple weeks ago, before I won the NWA title, I knew the next day I was going for it. I'm like, there's a chance I could win this thing. And I was going right to France. I made the promoter that I was working for. I said, listen, I have 2 of your titles. You need to mail them home. I can't travel with these. I can't. You gotta mail them to me, pal. Because God forbid I win this NWA title tomorrow. I'm gonna have even more. And I ended up winning it. So thank God I had to mail it to me. it just get a little ridiculous. And that the bottom of my bag is like it's been dragging on the floor because it's so heavy, and now it's starting to rip apart. So I gotta go get a new bag. This is costing me money, guys.
Yeah.
Mo, imagine those first world problems, Mo. I have too many titles.
So
Too
many.
many.
Too
My
many
bag's
I have
titles.
too many.
Fuck, too many titles.
Yo, David, you know how hard it is? Like, listen, I'm not like this powerlifter or anything. Of course I work out, but to lift that bag into that overhead with all those titles in there, oh my God, it's so tough.
I don't know if you were ribbing me there because you know what, Matt? I don't know. No, I don't.
Well, you had that hardcore title, baby, for a little bit.
It didn't. Yeah, it did not weigh much. It did not. Oh my goodness.
So hottest free agent in pro wrestling, taking over everywhere. What would get you to sign an exclusive contract somewhere?
Man, I don't know.
You would.
To be honest,
I don't think you would.
I don't think I would because and listen, I say this often, and people they roll their eyes or they they disagree with me. That's fine. I'm not saying that what I'm about to say is correct. I'm saying this. It's my opinion. It's how I feel. I think success should be defined by happiness and not dollar signs. Right.
Yeah.
So listen, if I was working in WWE right now, would I be making more money? Probably would. Would I be happier? No, absolutely not. They probably wouldn't let me do my podcast, right? I'd probably be, I wouldn't have control over my schedule, my life. I was in that system for so long. I was used to missing, birthdays, weddings, all that. I'm not bitching about it. That just comes with the business, comes with the territory, right? But now, if I don't want to fucking work on Halloween, I just won't book myself. And I'll go dress up. So, you know what I'm saying? I love this freedom, something I never had. I don't know what it would take to give it up.
Hey, Matt, on the bright side, titles.
That's right.
Titles.
That's right.
You wouldn't have to work. You wouldn't have that problem anymore.
That's right. I wouldn't have any titles if I was in WWE.
You know what? A lot of times in life where I think people make the mistake, and I'm guilty of it myself, is when you try to upgrade happiness.
Right.
When you think I'm happy, but I can get happier.
Right.
And you end up just doing more harm to yourself than I think what you're doing is great. I think it's revolutionary, and I think more people are going to follow in your footsteps, my friend. I think you and Brian are visionaries.
Yeah, listen, I hope so. I think 10 years ago, not to pat myself on the back, but I think I proved that it is possible to change your position in a major company if you hustle enough and self-promote. And, it's a little trickier now because back then there was kind of no way to stop it. Now they could kind of stop it if they wanted to. They could tell you, don't do this or don't do that. Then it was a little, I was flying so under the radar because nobody knew what the fuck I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time they did, it was too late. Nobody really, they didn't take Twitter seriously. They didn't take YouTube seriously. So I was doing all this stuff and nobody even knew I was doing it. And not that I was hiding it, of course I wanted people to know. I was trying to get as, as recognized as possible, but the people in WWE at the time, they didn't see it. So I was doing all this kind of right under their nose, but behind their back at the same time. I don't think someone could do it again. Using the same formula, maybe if they tweaked it a bit, because now WWE realizes the power of social media.
Yeah,
very
well.
Much so.
You were a pioneer, my friend, and I could not love you more. And I can't wait to see you in Dallas.
Well, I'm going to see you in Dallas, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Maven, right here. I'm going to put you on the spot with a little public invite to something. Let me get the right date. Make sure so I don't screw it up. All right, you ready, Maven? June 2nd, New York City.
Okay.
New York City, the Major Wrestling Fair podcast. We're not having a live show. We're not having a wrestling show. We're having a pop-up bar in Times Square. We're calling it Major Wrestling Figure Podcast New York.
Okay.
And we want to host the 20-year reunion of Tough Enough, of the celebration of Maven being the Tough Enough champion.
That's so cool.
New York City, we want you to be the guest of honor.
Yes.
We want
you know what? I'm there.
That's
I'm
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
there.
right. Yeah. And Maven, if you don't show up, we're doing it anyway.
There you go.
irrelevant if I'm not there.
Hell yeah.
Matt, you know, I'm wherever you guys are. If I'm ever invited, I'm there. That's just
Hell
that
yeah.
goes without saying. Like I said, you've not only put a lot of money in my pocket, which I thank you for, but you've helped me, get my passion and my love back. And you mentioned the word bitterness earlier, and I, my friend, am one of those former bitter WWE wrestlers. I'm not too ashamed to admit, but you've helped me ease that bitterness, quite a bit. So I thank you for that.
I'm glad I could.
I thank you for that.
Hell yeah.
That is amazing. And of course, we thank you for your time today. If people want to find you online, obviously there's a lot of choices, but where could they do so?
Twitter, Instagram at the Matt Cardona, and every Friday download the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Excellent. Thank you again so much. We'll give you Maven a moment to cool off after your bromance leaves. But continued success, sir. Seriously,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. Just
Right.
the nicest. I like,
He's
and
so nice.
what you see, he's just the nicest damn guy. Like, and remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking about we were talking to Brian about like the ribs from the old school, and when I got into wrestling, guys just weren't like that. They weren't, it was still that a little bit of an element of you got to be a tough guy to be a wrestler, and you have to be entertaining to be a wrestler. That's what it is. It's entertainment. And Matt has taken that to another level. And he's trying to bring me along for the ride, and I love him for it.
I remember some of the videos when, again, under the radar, behind the backs of WWE, a term that you've probably heard a few times here, Lindsay, about getting over with the crowd and whatnot. You'd see one week he'd do a video and he's trying to climb a fence and it's just not working. Then the next week he's just trying to climb a fence. And then all of a sudden, like in another video, he gets over the fence. He's like, oh my God, I finally got over. And just like the little shots that he would take, but that's the entertainment that we knew he had for quite some time. And, glad to see it's working out for him. And I'm glad to hear that you've come full circle and you've kind of started to drop some of that bitterness. What, if you don't mind me asking, because
no, I'm an open book. There's
Lindsay and I
both,
we met at Comic-Con, in the industry a couple years ago. So we see a lot of celebrities that kind of do this circle of happy, bitter, happy.
Yeah.
What brought you bitterness?
I would say the fact that I think I was misused. I'll be the first to admit, there are wrestlers and then there are shooters, guys that can like get in and just do every move and every hold. It looks like a dance. That was not me. Like I was the guy. I was a very average wrestler. I mean, the 5 moves I did them good, but you weren't gonna get that 6th move on a nightly basis. But where they did drop the ball is I think I think my mic skills and I think my character development could have went through the roof. And they just refused to, and I would tell them, let me talk, let me do this, let me do that. I think I can be funny. I don't know. And they just wouldn't let me do it. And I think my bitterness led to, was just from just my lack of opportunity there. And then them just giving up on me before I was able to blossom,
Sure.
So
yeah,
I can see that, especially
now. Hold up, wait a minute. That said, I am extremely happy with the career I had. Like
are you sure it led you to this show? Are you sure?
Remains to be seen. Now,
Okay.
if you would see the way I grew up as country as you can ever imagine. I mean, I think Virginia, the sticks of Virginia. I think by the time I went to New York for the first time, I was 21. I'd been to like 11 states at that time, so now I've been in all 50 states. I've been in 11 countries, and that would have never happened without wrestling, so, along with the bitterness, comes a level of appreciation that I do know what the business gave me.
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
You should have heard the pop. Again, Lindsay's not overly familiar with a lot of the history of stuff, but he got to
Of anything.
eliminate
History
The
of anything.
Undertaker, which is a name that you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that name. He got to drop kick The Undertaker out of the Rumble.
What?
And Lindsay, hold up. A quick backstory on that, Mo. When I did it, it was my third time ever being on live television.
Oh. Okay.
I was so new to the business, I didn't even have wrestling gear. I did it in like track pants and tennis shoes and sneakers. So it was just like the surprise. And here you got like one of the icons of the business getting eliminated by this as green of a rookie as you can imagine.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
but before it was predetermined. It wasn't. I didn't do it. It was.
Well, yeah, but still, it's cool.
But you did it.
I did it. Yeah, but I did it. You know, and
don't take the accomplishments away from yourself. If there's one thing you can learn from our absentee host, who is 24-time tag team champion, predetermined or not, he's going to let you know he was a 24-time champion.
Yeah, he will.
He did it. He did. Yeah, he's going to let you know he did it.
But
you know what's craziest about that thing, Lindsay, is the fact that part of the idea was Undertaker's.
Really?
And if you know anything about our business, you know that top guys, main event guys, they fight to hold on to that. And they don't want to, I think it was Bill Parcells said in football, never take yourself out of the huddle because somebody's going to replace you. And at that point, you don't know if that person is going to be a better replacement. But in our business, in order to make yourself look good, you have to make others look good. Because if you squash somebody and then you go and wrestle them, who have you beat? You beat a nobody. But what he was doing, he knew he helped my career, but he was helping to build, a star for later down the line. And that one event gave me a career. I have no problem
reaction, man.
It was crazy.
Watching it at home.
Yeah, it was
on
nuts.
pay-per-view, and I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, it was nuts.
What just happened? That's cool.
That's probably my Groundhog Day. Like if I could relive any day, just because I still remember, what it was like, standing in that ring, and there for a split second, I was the king of the wrestling world for that split second.
Fantastic.
And just looking around at the crowd, and I'll never be able to recreate that again as long as I live. But for that 1 minute, I had it.
Oh, June 2nd looks like it's Making
Right.
Appreciation Day.
Right.
Basically. I mean,
It's already in my
could be
calendar.
another good day for you.
It is. Yeah, you guys didn't come to New York then.
Okay.
No, he's always
Farm.
like Matt for somebody that stays as busy as he is. You'd be shocked. What he said is true. When he's with his fans, man, he's making every one of them seem as special as the first fan he's ever met.
Which is great. I mean, that also shows that one decent human being, at least, but that he himself is passionate and enjoys what he does. Again, being with the Comic-Con backgrounds that we have, we know that's not always the case. That a lot of people are there just because of the money, or that's all they've known, so they're just going to keep doing it because that's what they do.
Yeah, he sounds more grounded, and
so we absolutely we understand that. This is a fun comment. Cameron wrote this a few moments ago. Said that his brother was on the show.
With Phil McGee. Oh.
Oh.
Be on the lookout for the Fury.
What?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Phil, 2 weeks ago when we had him on, he was sending me pictures and of his new digs out there at the University of Colorado. But again, he had such a great time. Like, he loved the short amount of time we were able to have him on the show. He had a blast. And Jindrak, how crazy is it seeing Mark Jindrak after all these years?
Yeah, no, that was great, and how open and everything he was too. Which
you can tell he has a story to tell.
Yeah. And comments coming in, you not giving yourself enough credit. Dante says, don't sell yourself short. Says that you busted your ass on Tough Enough. You did your best in the E. You should look back because you did get fans.
Thank
And then
you.
Scene Place wants to know how the hell did you get such a good drop kick? Even in the video game, you and Hardcore Holly the best.
You know what? The drop kick, I was always, an athlete growing up. And when we were doing, training for Tough Enough, and actually, thank you, I did bust my ass on Tough Enough. And that's something I won't sell myself short on. I was asked, doing an interview last week, what I was most proud of. And the fact that through
Wait,
Tough
you're
Enough,
cheating on us with other shows?
Wait a minute.
I didn't enjoy it.
Okay, that makes it better.
Okay, it's all right.
Makes it better.
If that means anything.
Yeah.
The guy asked me what I was most proud of. So this contest that I won, Tough Enough, I was in the first season, and it was supposed to be like you're living your dream. 13 people start, 8 people in my season quit. Like, how is this your dream if you're quitting?
Wow.
Yeah. Like I was a 6th grade school teacher and a high school baseball coach, and I quit all of that to go pursue this career. I had nowhere to go, so quitting wasn't an option. And what I'm most proud of is get hurt, and it was a tough business. I never took one day, not one exercise off for injury. I said, if I'm here, I'm gonna see this thing through. And and it's my body probably hasn't felt the same since, but I knew if I did make it, what this business was going to have in store for me, and that was you're going to be physical. You're going to be physical in everything you do on a daily basis. And if you're taking the easy way out and sitting out, it's probably not the business for you.
No, probably not.
I don't
But
think
the drop
for me.
Yeah, but the drop kick, the day one when Al Snow was teaching us the drop kick, I literally you know how you do something and you're just good at it immediately. I threw one drop kick.
No.
I do everything. Yeah.
No.
Mostly natural, but yeah.
I'm good. I've always said I would love to get a job for Mr. Mattress.
Yeah.
Mattresses. Yeah, this one's great. Yeah.
Oh,
Got
great.
logged a solid 8 hours on this one. But I threw my first drop kick, and literally Al Snow said, "There's your move." But just because I could always jump high, and I could get my legs vertical at a pretty high, and it was literally it came to me. It's not something I practiced. It was just I was good at it. It was the only move I did that I was literally good at the first time I did it. Everything else
even selling
took a
themselves
while.
short again. There. Very memorable cast though from the first Tough Enough. I mean, following seasons, individuals maybe, but there was a lot of support for the original crew. Do you keep up with any of them?
You know what? No. As much as I hate to say it, I don't.
They're a bunch of assholes, aren't they? Just say
no. It's how life just takes you in your different directions. But the 3 guys, me, Josh, and Chris Nowinski, any of us could have won. And the way that any of us could have won is I won and we all got jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Josh was immediately, got a job, as an announcer. And Chris, I think, Chris was, I think he got into developmental around about the same time I did, so they hired us all. But again, WWE knows they're not gonna create a name and then not use it, because why would they, so.
Yeah, and nice to see that Chris moved on, does a lot of the research, the scientific research with concussions and everything.
Oh, wow.
So he used this platform to really grow. Josh Matthews, now a higher up in Impact Wrestling, does the announcing there. And I mean, so it's nice to see that all you guys are still, doing great and whatnot in the different pockets. And it'd be kind of cool to see you guys back for an actual reunion, not just the Maven Appreciation Day that gets its own celebration, but then to bring everybody else in too.
It would be cool, and I would welcome seeing everybody from it. And like you would, talking about Chris, what Chris Nowinski moved on was far more important than doing anything in the wrestling field. I mean, he was one of the pioneers of the CTE research, that plagued, and what happened was he got a concussion in a shitty little house show match and was having, the trauma from it for months. And with that Harvard background, he put that to use and, has led to hopefully, I don't know if it's making lives better, but I would like to think it is.
I bet
That's
it is.
awesome.
Even if it isn't
Yeah.
right now,
It
long
will.
term, look at the big
Mhm.
picture. He's
Yeah.
he's definitely doing a lot. So
Well,
absolutely, that's great.
I think he's changed. I think you can say he single-handedly helped change the game of football.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
he helped bring CTE into to be a not just a taboo topic, but a dinner table topic for a lot of people.
Very important discussion right
Yeah,
there. Not
yeah.
so important, but it's been asked. Lindsay, what do you think of Joe versus Carol?
I haven't watched it yet, Dante. I'm sorry. Listen, I had to catch up on Outlander. It's fine. I'll get to it. What?
She's like Tiger King obsessed, and she hasn't watched the
What?
show yet.
What? Listen, I've been working. I've been prepping for the podcast, obviously, because I know what's going
Yeah,
on.
obviously.
And catching up on Outlander. It's a priority. But next,
Outlander.
ask me again next week.
You'll still
What
have the
about
same answer, but
what about our hold on, what are any of you into 90 Day Fiance?
I watched the beginning.
That's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my god,
I
can't
know
get
we
enough of
have
that.
viewers that are into it.
Mhm.
I myself have not gotten into it. I know that one guy that's in all the memes now, but that's about it. So what hooks you into 90 Day Fiance?
The fact that there's that many idiots and that
I love
there's
it.
that many in a country that we live in with 330 million people. You can't find someone in this country to date. That you have to go through all the money it takes to get someone over here from a different country alone would be like, I'm out. Yeah, no, I'm out on that. I'll find someone somewhere. But I don't know. It's just
It's
the idiots. I love watching just the stupidity of
a
other human beings.
it's a dumpster fire after
It
dumpster
is.
fire, and you cannot take your eyes off of it.
You can't. No. And then they have spin-off shows, and you got
Mhm.
Darcy and Stacy,
Oh
and
yeah.
you got these girls who I don't know how much plastic surgery it's going to take before someone has an intervention with them, but it's not happened
So
yet.
true.
I know.
No.
It hasn't happened.
I
It's-
don't like to cosmetic surgery shame people, but there are people that take it too far. And I just tweeted
Enough.
this out this week. There's a midday show, so when I go into work, we have a TV on just in case there's breaking news, like something big happens, Godzilla attack or whatever. But in the radio station, we got the TV on, and every day I come in a couple hours before the show, and there's a show called The Real on, and they keep it real and everything. But I'm so distracted that all three of the female hosts have had so much work done. There's nothing real about The Real.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's the real's not even real.
No, it's distractingly bad.
It just it amazes me that when I see an actress that maybe I grew up watching age gracefully and still look beautiful,
Mhm.
and I forget which actress it was, but I looked and then I hit her up on IMDb to see how old she was, and I'm like, she's 62, and it looked amazing, and you can tell she's just letting nature take its course. Because if nature wins, Father Time's gonna
regardless, dude.
win. And just I to me that's a more a better beauty than
Right.
nipping and tucking everything.
Yeah.
What about hold up to not to switch the subject before I forget? Has anyone seen Batman? I need to hear. Is it good? I know it's 3 hours.
Wait, this way.
It is. It's 2 hours and
I
55
don't know.
minutes.
I
It's a
haven't.
bit of a trek. It depends on what you want from the Batman. I loved it. I personally loved it. I didn't have the reservations on Robert Pattinson being Batman like so many others, because I know he could be a good actor. So I was fine with that. He makes a great Batman, and this is definitely a movie with the most Batman we've seen yet. A little less Bruce Wayne, a lot more Batman. But that, I think, is the point, because he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He wants to be Batman. So this is a very young story. It's not an origin story, but he's not perfect. He's like a year or two into crime fighting. He makes mistakes.
Right.
He makes mistakes while chasing the Riddler. And I like that about it. With that said, Batman's the world's greatest detective, and we had yet to see him be a detective on screen until this movie.
Okay.
Okay. I just know for me to sit through, like I have no problem with a 3-hour movie if it's in my living room, and I can pause it and get up and maybe come back and But a 3-hour movie in the theater, that's a heavy ask.
It's
But
got a
That's a
great
long
soundtrack.
time.
It's got some great sounds to it. So if
Okay.
you do watch it, turn up the volume no matter where you're at.
Right.
But I do think it's theater quality, with the surround sound and everything. So
I have yet to have one person tell me that it's not a good movie.
no, I mean it's slow. It does not have all the explosions that
Right.
most Batman movies have, and so the people that don't like it, that seems to be one of their biggest complaints is that it's too long and drawn out. But that's the way it's supposed to be to me. So
Right.
That's Batman.
yeah,
That is Batman.
That
I
is Batman.
I really want to see this Batman universe expand.
Cool.
Okay. So you want to see Pattinson do more?
Yes. That was the very first thought I had after the movie. I'm like, okay, get started on that sequel now.
On your Batman, you got your Batman list. I mean, Michael Keaton's got to be one, right?
Oh, as in the actors playing Batman.
No, as in your favorites. Like to me,
of the movies or of the Batman.
Of the Batman,
because that's going to change.
Gosh. We're opening up
of the Batman.
Yeah. I don't know if we have enough time for this. No.
What have you started?
Pattinson to me has the potential to be the best Batman.
What?
As it continues. I wouldn't say it yet.
Okay.
But if they allow him another maybe 2 appearances, I could see him being the best. Right now, people are going to say he's not a good Bruce Wayne, but I think that's the point. He's unsure of himself. He doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne.
Right. Okay.
But I think we go down. He's going to be near the top of that list.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. To me, I grew up like I still remember the '89 Batman. I mean that's I was 13 years old, and that's like to me is going to be just like that's my childhood right there. But I also loved Christian Bale. I loved his version. So that's heavy shoes to fill. Like I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I would be curious to get your thoughts on it. There's no end credit scene officially. There's a little bit of a tease for you to try to figure out a riddle, to go to a website, but there's no scene afterwards. So at least you don't have to sit through the credits, maybe.
Yeah, 7 minutes of credits.
That's when you get your nap in.
Saving you what I can anyway.
You know what though? I did enjoy that at the end of Ghostbusters, just to see Bill Murray and Susan Sarandon together again. Like that was cool.
Right. So, I would recommend the Batman for sure. HBO Max is already going to have 2 spin-off series they've announced, a Penguin and an Arkham Asylum one. So, might as well just strap in and get used to it because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's here. It's here to stay.
Yeah. So, anything else we need to cover before we wrap up here? Should point out, Devon seems to be doing well.
Wonderful.
Don't know if he's going to return here in the next couple of weeks or not. We got to talk to him about it. But hopefully we get to keep Maven around, at least on the regular. Even if Devon does come back, we'll let you do something. I don't know.
You know what? If I definitely am just holding the seat for Devon to anyone out there that's worried. But I've had a blast. I'm having a great time with you guys week after week. Like I said, I find myself smiling this entire hour, and so thank you.
That. I mean,
that's what I do.
I just smile. That's fun.
Lindsay, that's all you need.
That's all I do.
That's it. That's all you need.
I am here. Throwing a comment here or there.
Cool. But go watch that show, Joe versus Carol there, Lindsay.
Yes, it's on my list of things to do now.
Get off your ass and watch it. Come on.
Nothing else to do.
And Maven, I don't know what it is you do, but you do whatever you do.
Go do what you do.
Whatever you do, just go do
whatever you do. You're in a relationship, right? What does she think about your wrestling background?
She thinks it's here's in a nutshell what she thinks. If we're someplace and someone's like, "Oh my God, you're that guy, you're so good," she's like, "He's an idiot." Like
I love it.
Yeah,
keeps you grounded. Keeps you
she thinks it's the most ridiculous thing shit on earth. Yeah, she could care less. Could care less. Yeah.
That's good.
So that's not helping.
She does ground me. She does keep me grounded.
Good.
That's probably a good thing. That's
Yeah,
probably
It
a
you
good
don't want your
thing.
head getting too big, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody take care of themselves. We'll let you
Likewise.
know who's hosting next week and who our guest is here on the next Table Talk.
Whoop.